You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Syracuse football is targeting two players from the Florida State Seminoles last season. I am talking about wide receiver Hykeem Williams and left guard TJ Ferguson. Let's dive into both of these players as potential options for Syracuse football. Let's start with Hykeem Williams, a 6'2", 215-pound wide receiver. Williams is visiting shortly, according to an FSU insider. He has also visited Colorado and Pitt, and he does have a visit scheduled for Miami next week. Hykeem Williams is a former five-star recruit in the 2023 recruiting class, so he's got multiple years of eligibility, and obviously you're a five-star recruit. He's got talent. But so far, Hykeem Williams has not lived up to the hype. His stats through 2 years, he just has 21 career catches, little over 260 yards, and 2 total touchdowns. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Injuries. Injuries have not been too kind to wide receiver Hykeem Williams. He suffered a season-ending ankle injury in his true freshman year in 2023, and he missed the start of last season with a hamstring injury. So obviously you missed the start of a season going into your second year. That's going to limit you. That's going to hurt your development a little bit. Part of it is also because of the situations that Hykeem Williams has been in the last couple of years. In 2023, Florida State was loaded with talent. And also keep in mind, Williams was only a true freshman at this point. But they had Keon Coleman at wide receiver, NFL draft pick. Johnny Wilson as another wide receiver, NFL draft pick. They had Trey Benson at running back, NFL draft pick. Their tight end, I believe it's Jaheim Bell is how you say his name, NFL draft pick. The point being is that it's hard for any true freshman, I don't care how great you are, to carve out a role on an offense that features 4 or 5 skill players that are NFL draft picks in the following draft. It's tough for him to carve out of a role in that situation. And then in 2024, it was the complete opposite. First of all, he starts the year injured. He missed some time. He did improve slightly when he got on the field, but Florida State had arguably the worst quarterback situation in the country a year ago. Nobody ate on Florida State's offense. You can go look at the numbers. It was horrific on Florida State last year. So it's not a case of, oh, well, Hykeem Williams didn't see the field, but look at all the other receivers that were really good. Again, he couldn't get on the field. It's more of the whole team was just terrible a year ago. And we know that. I mean, Florida State was the worst team in the ACC last year and one of the worst teams in the Power Four a year ago. So let's talk about Syracuse and Hykeem Williams. Perhaps this is the change of scenery that a guy like Hykeem Williams needs. I think he could step into Syracuse football next year and be the team's top wide receiver. He's got a boatload of talent. He will have the opportunity at Syracuse. It also comes down to, can he stay healthy? And by the way, I talked to the host of the Portal podcast, the host of Locked On Seminoles, and also a recruiting expert. Of course, I'm talking about Brian Smith. He's very familiar with Hykeem Williams, and he basically echoed the same comments that I am giving to you all. He's got talent. He can be a difference maker. He needs the right opportunity, and he also needs to stay healthy. Hopefully, that's Syracuse for a guy like Hykeem Williams. Let's shift gears and talk about TJ Ferguson, a 6'4", 330-pound left guard. Ferguson is scheduled to visit Syracuse from Sunday to Tuesday, according to 24/7 Sports' Matt Zenitz. He has also already visited Mississippi State, and he's got 1 more year of eligibility remaining. There's good news and bad news with TJ Ferguson. Let's start with the good. Let's be optimistic. TJ Ferguson was a starting guard at Florida State a year ago. He's got plenty of starting experience. He played in 11 games with Florida State last year, and he started 7 of them. And he played nearly 500 total snaps last season for Florida State. That's the good news. This guy was on the field as a starter last year for an ACC team. What's the bad news? What's the catch? Well, he wasn't good. In fact, he was really bad. Pro Football Focus gave TJ Ferguson a grade of 42.6 last season. For context, Pro Football Focus will grade players on a scale of 0 to 100. 100 being the best, 0 being the worst. So higher the number, the better. A grade of 42.6 is considered to be poor. In fact, his Pro Football Focus grade was the lowest among all Power 4 offensive guards a year ago. He wasn't good at all last season. Yeah, he played, but when he did play, he was bad. Brian Smith specifically said to me this, that TJ Ferguson has talent. I mean, he was a former Alabama recruit, a consensus 4-star guy when he was in high school, and he transferred to Florida State, and clearly he showed enough to at least be a starter there for a team that in the preseason had high expectations. So TJ Ferguson, kind of similar to Hykeem Williams, he's got talent. But Brian Smith doesn't believe that he's been coached well, and he also doesn't know if TJ Ferguson really has the drive to be great. So, kind of like Hykeem Williams again, maybe Syracuse is the team that can unlock the potential of TJ Ferguson.